All right. So again, thank you so much for coming. Christine Dykeman, Monmouth County Workforce Development Office, and I'm introducing to you Anna Santucci and Kimberly Vargas of ExpressPros. They have a combined experience of, gosh, what, 40, 50 years? Yeah, okay, so I guess I'm showing your age. I don't want to say that. A lot of years of experience looking at resumes, being at job fairs, interviewing, recruiting, all of that good stuff. So they're going to share with you what a recruiter, what a hiring manager is looking for at a job fair to make it easiest for you to get seen and to be heard by a recruiter at that job fair. So take it away, and any questions, please put them in the chat box, and I'm happy to review those with Anna and Kim as they're going along in their presentation. If it's going to be addressed, we're just going to say, hey, it's coming up. And if it's something that is not addressed, we will definitely hit on that. Okay. Thanks so much. And Anna, take it away.
Well, first of all, Christine, thank you so much for inviting us again. We are so happy to be here, and congratulations to all of us. Congratulations to the world on being here. Last time we gave this presentation was before COVID, and it was in person, and it's just exciting to finally get to well, right now it's the Zoom, and this is very convenient as you're preparing for the job fair, but I am thrilled that our job fairs are starting to be in person again. And because it gives you the opportunity, and I'm excited for you that you also are giving yourself a chance to prepare to utilize that time, which is not going to be too long, in the most efficient way possible. There are jobs out there, I assure you they are, but you might find something you weren't thinking about. You might find something that you are looking for, but you would otherwise not have a time of the day if you didn't see people face to face. So it is exciting for you. I am happy for all of us that we finally get to see each other. So thank you very much for coming today. And again, Christine, thank you again for inviting us. Always a pleasure to present. With me today, I am Anna Santucci. I'm the owner and general manager of Express Employment of Howell, New Jersey. We're a recruiting company in Monmouth County. We've been around for 7 years. Come visit. With me is our very famous Kimberly Vargas, Director of Sales and Recruitment, who, with the help of our team, has placed over 2,000 people to work at this point in time. So we are here to share with you the secrets and the tips that are going to help you put your foot forward and be ahead of all the other job seekers and find all these amazing opportunities. All right, so I am going to start, and Kim and I will go back and forth presenting different slides and different tips. So first of all, let's talk about what's a job fair, recruitment event, or open house. We are going to, I know, like everybody knows what that is, but let's talk about how we should think about this, right? So first of all, the same goal here. This is a place for job seekers and employers or counselors to network. So it's a networking event. It's not like there's two people, across the table, and it's not really as strict and straightforward as, oh, this is an interview. It's like, this is a hiring manager. Yes, it is, but at the same time, you're networking. You're there for the same reasons. You're there to see the world. It's a whole different attitude. You have mutual goals that you might want to discover. And by the way, you might meet your neighbors there and say, hey, I didn't realize you work in this company. You might meet very interesting people. You might hear interesting advice. It's a networking opportunity. View it as that. It's interesting. Another way to think about those is, yes, it's an opportunity for interviews, but they're not as formal. They're fast, and actually just like any interview, but more so than any formal interview, you're interviewing the company too. You're asking them about them. They expect to be asked. They're there, they have tables, and they're asking you about what your experience is like. It's a speed. It's not going to be very thorough, but this is an opportunity to interview each other and the network. So come on in just with your best smile and with your happy face, because you're there for the same reason that people across the table are. Network and job speed interview each other. On to Kimberly.
Great morning, everyone. Okay, so who's going to be at the job fair, right? So there's a variety of different things you want to make sure that who's going is companies that you want to meet. So there's definitely going to be companies there that are hiring. There are different employment agencies, and I know sometimes employment agencies do have a bad rep, but they do get your foot in the door. Put my plug in there. They get your foot in the door. They might have connections and know people that otherwise wouldn't consider or don't post online. So employment agencies are great.
Kim, may I interrupt you, because I am so glad that you said that. Employment agencies are huge. Not only do they know about jobs and job opportunities, they know the people that are hiring in those companies and what's coming up. So you might not see a job that's available, but they know about jobs that are going to be available. So definitely make those connections and know that your employment agencies are also hiring full-time permanent jobs that have benefits, not only those temp jobs that you associate with employment agencies. So maybe we want to change our mindset as well.
100%.
Thank you, Kim.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we're a little bit biased over here, but
that's a little bit of a biased opinion, but it's very true. That temp concept is in the past, and really employment agencies can get your foot in the door for long-term career opportunities.
90%.
We've seen it time and time again. Go ahead, Ann. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, you froze there for a second. 90% of the jobs right now that come through our doors are permanent opportunities. But again, this is your time to go and explore different employment agencies and what they have to offer compared to what you're looking for.
Yes.
Right.
Go ahead, Kim.
In addition to that, you can find career counselors there. So if you're not sure what you want to do, or you'd like to switch careers and you're not sure where to take it, career counselors are a great resource as well. There's educational institutions in case you want to change careers and you need a degree for that. Or some kind of vocational school, so you can get more information on that. And in addition to that, you'll see a lot of government entities, so law enforcement, military, which are also other career avenues. So,
yes.
Imagine, you go into the career fair and don't think about anything, and then Navy recruits you. How cool would that be? All right, so now, why should you go anywhere? There's just so many jobs out there, right? Like there's indeed full of jobs, right? So really it's for you. You want to visualize the team you're going to be working with. There's nothing like a visual. And
did you know that there are over 263 job boards in existence around the world right now?
I did not know that.
That's a big number, right? Like, how do people compete? These job fairs are huge because you get to go speak to the person and interview them, just like you had said.
right.
Exactly. How do you know, just based on the job description, what it's all about? How do you know how people are going to treat you? How do you know how their employees are presenting, right? It's like, what do you like about this job? That's a fantastic question to ask to the person across the table. What do you like about the company that you're working for? Can't ask that when you're looking at the job postings. They all look the same, and sometimes an amazing company won't know how to write the appropriate job description. So this is all for you. This is amazing.
Anna, I was at a restaurant the other day, and there was one waiter, not everybody, just one waiter, and on the back of his shirt it said, "I love my job." And I kept thinking, how many people wear a shirt like that? He must really love his job. It was one out of all the wait staff. That's a really big deal for him to advertise that he loves his job. Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever look for a job in the restaurant after this presentation, you should really reach out to Christine and find out what that person for. That's for sure. Culture and goals are a big deal these days. If you have administrative experience, I don't know, if you have accounts payable or experience, it matters what the culture of the company is and what their accounts payable are like compared to what their company goals are. It's important to see how you fit and how they fit into your vision and goals. Now, they might not consider your candidacy, again, based on resume. No, your resume might not have stuff that's relevant to them, just because you can't possibly put everything on your resume. But now you have a chance to impress them, because again, seeing is believing. Same way, they have to impress you, you have to impress them. It's amazing. It's an opportunity. It could be a company that you're constantly applying for and they're just not even returning your call about the resume. Maybe, just maybe, you come in and say, hey, I still want to work for you. Tell them about what you do. And like we said already a few times, Navy is also hiring. So that's police and many other entities you might have not previously considered. I say it's fun. It's just fun to get out, no? These days, especially. Just remember 2 years ago and just think about how fun it is to get out and network with people you otherwise won't bump into in your regular life. All right, expectations. Let's manage them.
So what can you expect as a job seeker at these job fairs? So the good thing is you're going to have a lot of exposure to different companies. When you apply, like Anna was mentioning before, you know, it's fun. You get to meet people, you connect with people. When you apply on these websites, what the biggest complaints I've heard is something like, you know, you apply and then I never hear and I don't know what happened. You just, I've submitted 300 applications. When you go to these job fairs, you can ask, what are the next steps? I'm submitting my resume here. You know, you have a face to put it to. So you'll have a lot of exposure there. You'll have an opportunity to meet with the hiring managers and recruiters face to face. And you'll have the ability to learn more about the company and gain insight about, you know, what it is that they're looking for, their current openings, what career paths you'll have with that company as well. So it's not just like when you apply on, you know, the online platforms where it's like apply now. You'll have a bigger picture of what the company and what career path entails for that position you're applying for.
Kim, that's a great point. I organized that job fair that we hold at Monmouth County, and we do it twice a year, but I specifically tell businesses and hiring managers and recruiters that are attending, they need to not direct people to apply online. They actually need to have a conversation. They need to take your resume and talk to you and find out more about you, as opposed to saying, yeah, apply online for this job. We want a relationship to develop, and that is our goal. And if you are hearing something like that from our job fair, I can't speak to all the other job fairs, but definitely let us know as any of our workers, because that is not the goal of the job fair. It is to have that interaction, just like Kim said.
Right. So, and then the last thing would be networking with fellow job seekers. So you'll be able to talk to other people that are in the same situation as you, and just be able to, you know, share ideas. What are you doing differently? And talk to one another. So the networking is really huge. And it's also, you might even make some friends. So who knows?
You might meet people that you know, and you say, hey, what's happening in your life? You know?
That's right.
All right, how to dress. That's a funny one, you know, and dress code at work has changed over the years. I've seen it happen, not to date myself, but to date myself. Everybody was wearing suits when I started working. Then it slowly transferred to being casual, and then some companies will allow really casual clothing right now, and some people will still stay business professional. But what that means to everybody, right, there's a range, right? What's business casual to me might not be what's business casual to you. So how do you know how to get dressed to the job fair? Important, but again, we're talking about face-to-face networking. So how do you feel appropriate? So here it is. First of all, be well-groomed. I mean, important to look neat and put together. You don't have to make a whole elaborate hairdo, but just be how you would like to be presented when you're at your best, right? You should be dressing for the job you want to get. So if you are if you're a skilled laborer that wants to apply for a skilled labor job, do not dress in a suit. If you really would like to be a corporate banker, then you probably should wear a suit, because in those institutions, they're still wearing suits these days. Again, dress the way you want to be looked at work. That's
Love that. Love that, Anna. Dress the way you want to be perceived. Mhm.
Yes. And the way they would view, they were like, oh, like I'm looking at this guy in the picture and I'm like, I think he wants to be a skilled laborer or maybe a warehouse manager, right? Because that's how he's dressed. And if he comes like this to the job fair, he's sending me a message. Comfortable professional footwear. I know, again, we're all different these days, but many people will want to wear heels because that makes many people look a certain way and feel a certain way. Don't do this to yourself. Your feet are gonna kill you afterwards. Don't wear your brand new shoes that we're saving because you feel like you're gonna feel the best of you, like the best, newest shoes, shiny. Wear something comfortable because you will be walking around, you will be on your feet, people will be talking to you. There's not a whole lot of room to sit anywhere. I don't know that there's a whole lot of chairs anywhere. And really you don't want to be missing the time because your new shoe is robbing the back of your, soul. So I can't stress it enough. This is really very important, even though it sounds so
well, you are absolutely right, Anna. I've also seen at our job fairs people dressed in pajamas, and I wouldn't go that comfortable if I were you. So you want to stay professional, not wearing the slippers, but not wearing the brand new 4-inch heels that are shiny and brand new and you've never worn before that are giving you blisters. So something in between would probably be best.
Well, I can't imagine, right? Interesting about pajamas. Yeah, I've seen a couple of people like pajama types. I will say this, unless this is the type of job you want to apply where you're going to be sleeping while getting paid.
And there are jobs like that, by the way.
Yeah, there are like sleep studies or, but again, yeah, typically not. Neutral and conservative. Again, yes, dress to the job that you want to wear. And if you want to work in the fashion industry, obviously, yeah, you could, bedazzle us all, but generally speaking, just be as neutral as possible because, they're different companies and you really don't know what you're going to find. So be professional, put together, but neutral. Conservative is the key.
Perfect.
If in doubt, leave it out is really the word here. And again, very strong scents. People are allergic these days, spending too much time on your hair. Again, it's all about neat, professional, neutral, do whatever you like, but obviously it has just to be work related. We're not going to the bar,
So do they need to wear, I mean, you had mentioned a few tips. I get a lot of questions about, back in the day, it was mandatory for women to wear skirts and or wear stockings. So is that still the case or what has changed for 2022?
So some companies are still requiring skirts, stockings. Some companies have uniforms still, right? You go on the airplane, everybody's wearing a uniform. You know exactly who the flight attendants are because they're wearing a uniform. So there will still be companies that by nature of their business will require uniforms. There will be still companies that by nature of their work will have a dress code. Again, do you want to work somewhere that's more conservative? Dress that certain way, right? That's neutral. Do you want to work somewhere where like they're creative Google types when they're laying on couches? Well, then dress like that, Again, it really depends, but overall, definitely over the course of the years, I don't see a whole lot of suits anywhere. It's mostly just, professional blouses, professional, yes, ties, again, to the job that you want to be doing. So, and if in doubt, leave it out. Too much makeup, too much jewelry. Again, if you feel that identifies you and presents you, please leave it on. I'm talking about if in doubt, leave it out. That's my point here. All righty. So now you're all dressed, you laid out your clothing. Okay, Go ahead, Kim. How do you
Your
prepare?
wardrobe is settled. So what do you do to get ready for the job fair? So the first thing you want to do is get a list of companies that are attending for the job fair. And I'm certain with the upcoming job fair, there is the list that you receive once you sign up. So you want to research the companies and see if maybe, you know, this is a table that I'm going to want to stop at. You're going to make a list of those employers that you want to visit, and then research them, go online, see, you know, what kind of opportunities they have available, what their culture looks like, you know, what benefits they offer. So this way you have a lot of time, these companies have that information posted. So you can focus on asking questions that are more specific about the job, about the career path, versus asking general questions you can see on the website.
Kim, that's a great point. A list of companies that are planning to attend our job fair in Monmouth County did go out this morning to our database through email. And by the end of the week, we will have additions, subtractions, people that backed out, people that were added on. That list will be up on our website, www.workinmonmouth.com, and there'll be a link to that current job company attendee list for next week. So if you got the email this morning, great, you can get started. If not, the link will be on the website on Friday.
Just so you know, everybody, if the company is on that list, they earned it. I will tell you firsthand, when we first opened, we couldn't get the light of the day to get into this job fair. Just so you know, we had to earn our stripes. We had to prove we're legit. We had to show we have real jobs. We had to show we're really hiring. We had to show that we're an asset to Monmouth County. So if the company is on that list, I mean, things happen, obviously. If that company is on that list, look into them. Even if you're not interested, just because the company is called, I don't know, Anna's Widgets, doesn't mean that you don't have your favorite occupation laid out there for you.
Right.
We have every occupation under the sun. And when we decide who is going to come to this job fair, we make sure that it's a wide range of industries as well as job opportunities, from entry level to CEO opportunities and everything in between. So you might think that a hospital might not have anything but RN or LPNs, and they may have admins, they may have CNAs. You just don't know until you have that conversation. So just like you don't want to be prejudged on your resume and what you can do, you don't want to judge a company, a title, well, they're in this space that you have no idea what they do have available. So definitely take a look and talk to people.
Right. And also, I saw that list this morning, Christine. There is a lot of companies there. So you want to make a list of the companies you want to visit and attend, because you will run out of time.
You run out of time.
So make yourself a list, make yourself a schedule, and organize a schedule. So start with the companies that you want to work with first, the ones you feel strongest about. Start with those at the top and then map your way out. So that way you have your day planned. And the last thing would be prepare the list of questions that you want to ask. Like I mentioned before, research as much information as you can, and then ask more specific questions that would help you decide, is this a company that I would like to interview for? Or is this a company I see myself long-term? So really just prepare a list of questions, write them down, bring them with you for the fair.
So now you're really prepared. You have a whole plan and you have a whole map. All right, so what happens next? Now it's your business card, right? Your resume.
You know what, Anna, I am so glad that you're addressing this, because we got in the chat, do we even bring resumes with us? Because we're having these conversations. So I'm really glad that you're addressing that.
Oh my gosh, you so do. How else would people know about you? Usually employers will have like sign-in sheets, but unless I have that physical representation, it's like, oh, hey, I remember Christine, I had a whole conversation, but they have actually a physical piece of paper. Everybody these days like, oh, everything is online, everything's remote, everything is paperless. But you know what? There's nothing like picking up that paper and saying, oh, I remember Christine, we had the conversation with her, and here's the physical representation of Christine, which is that resume. And yes, obviously sign in to do what they ask you to do. So this way, they have contact information in case something does happen to that resume. But just the fact that you will have it will, again, move you further towards your goal, which is to find an amazing new career opportunity. So now we're not going to go deep into the weeds about how to make the resume, because this is Christine, I know, gives a killer presentation on just that alone, probably series of. Yes,
It's on YouTube. There you go.
Yes, but I would say like this: if you have a lot of experience, you might have a couple of versions of your resume just to make sure that they're more relevant to those different positions you're applying. And again, you've already researched, so you know what you're probably going to be applying for. So maybe make one neutral resume and one very, very geared towards what you had specific experience in, right? So again, it depends. If you don't have a whole lot of experience, just make one generic resume. Again, it's just your business card, make sure it's one page. Please make sure it's one page. Please do not give people like a whole tome and say, here's my resume. People do not have
on my YouTube channel, Anna, I very much believe in the 2-page resume, but for a job fair, a 1-page resume is more than enough, because you want to give a snippet of information and then hopefully have more further conversation to give them that 2-page resume. So it's a little bit different for a job fair, because you are using that as your calling card, your marketing document.
Exactly. It is your business card. So yes, you could make different versions of resume for when you're actually interviewing and so forth, but this is your business card. So put a little work into this, because anyway, you're putting on your shoes and all that amazing clothing and driving out. So,
and remember, people hire people. They don't hire resumes. They hire people. So having that conversation is definitely going to help you, and the resume will help them remember you.
Right. And although I just said that we're not going to go into the weeds about resumes, I will say, make it pretty, make it neat. Don't make it sloppy. Make sure that you do spell check. This is important. Again, it's your business card, 1 page. So, if my eye rests on it, you definitely want to. I'm not definitely hiring a resume, but how you present and how your resume presents will say something about that, right? About your candidacy. Now, here's the funny part. Those of you that ever did sports or are involved in sports, about like, shadow boxing, shadow tennising, shadow throwing the ball, right? So you have to practice your elevator speech, but really you have to practice sometimes in front of the mirror. It's like, it's like a shadow boxing, So because the mirror is just looking back at you, and it's a safe environment. I know it sounds silly, but it really helps, because you will hear yourself and you'll be like, oh no, that's not how I want to sound. After 3 tries, you'll sound amazing. And it's just going to, again, make you much more confident. And
absolutely. Great advice. Great advice. Yes.
Oh wait, we already spoke about clothing. But I will say, don't have a super late night. If this is a job fair, it's important. Definitely go to the Monmouth Workforce. That's the biggest one in this area. Usually people are the most successful there, as far as, we've seen the pre-COVID. Definitely make sure you rest the night before, be, bright and ready and really perky. All right.
So you are well rested, you're good to go, and you did not make a checklist, and the dog is giving you a hard time in the morning, and you're running late and you forgot all your stuff. Well, you want to avoid that. So we came up with a checklist of things to bring with you. Make sure that you're prepared the day of, and I would prepare everything the night before or a couple of days before. So this way, the day of the job fair, you are set up for success. So create a list of companies you want to research. Make sure you bring your list with you. Have your elevator pitch ready to go after you've already practiced it in the mirror 7 times. Copies of your resume, portfolio, if that's applicable to the jobs that you're applying to. And if you have specific jobs that you're applying for with companies, maybe even throw in a cover letter in there for that specific job, specific company. Bring your questions with you, and of course, a pen and paper so you can take notes, write things down. So
Now, about the pen and paper, have your own. There will be tons of pens and papers, by the way, because all the vendors are giving out fun stuff. You know how I said it's fun? Well, some people just like, I'm just here for the goodies. I've had that. I mean, I'm sure you're not on the Zoom to hear about all the goodies, but they're pretty cool gadgets out there sometimes. All right, now here's a very important advice, and we have it from experience. You should arrive early, because before COVID, what happened is that early the job fair is like, like people are like starting to trickle in, but the employers are literally bright and bushy-tailed, okay? Because they just came in, they set up their table, their pens and papers are just so, it's like, everybody's fresh, okay? And they haven't spoken to anybody. You're going to be memorable, and they're going to have more time for you. And then what happened in the second part of the job fair usually is that everybody came in and there were lines to every job and every table. People didn't have as much time to do it. And those people were tired, right? That they're on their feet the entire time. So you get more face time, you get more opportunity to network, and you are more memorable. Now, right now, after COVID, this has been changed. I don't know how it's going to be. Every job fair has been busier and busier. They're getting busier. There have been a couple. I think the first one wasn't so busy, but now they're getting busier. I see that also from other job fairs. But what happens is that if there's not a whole lot of people, some vendors will leave early. Everybody comes on time, but some vendors will leave early. And so
now, Anna, bite your tongue, because I asked vendors, they have to stay until the close of our job fair.
Okay,
but it does happen. You're right.
Right, it does happen. Not us. We're going to be there. But I have seen,
Yes.
the vendors staying there, and it's like if there's not enough people, they're gonna start folding their tablecloths, taking away their pens. Okay. And so they're gonna be already like in the unpacking out mode. So yeah, they might stay because Christine told them. But are they gonna be staying there in the mindset is like, yes, I still want to talk to you.
You're right.
So you want to make sure they're still there with you mentally. Like I said, in the morning, everybody's just fresher there for you.
Mm-hmm.
You will have more time to explore the fair and its layout, right? Because scout the environment over there.
We will have a map for everyone when they come in, and all the tables will be numbered, and on the opposite side will be a list of the companies and what table and number they're at. So if you go to table 1, you'll know who's at table 1. You go to table 42, you know who's at table 42, and so forth and so on. So the map will correlate with the company number, and so you'll be able to find them as well.
And if you have your list of companies you really want to, right, in that particular
Yes.
order to visit, that's why you need that. I can't stress this enough. Be polite, courteous, and professional to everyone. You really don't know who your next employer is. Listen, we're all people, and things happen. And looking for a job, whether you're not presently employed or whether you're looking for a different job, whether you want to change a career, we're all vulnerable in that state. We've all been job seekers. And so put yourself in a good mindset. Just focus on everybody's your friend there. And just, again, be polite, courteous to everybody. Everybody's just there for each other and trying to help your fellow job seekers, recruiters, human resources, to get into the job fair, to get themselves out. They had to want to be there. So we're all there for each other. Have that mindset. Stay calm. Don't get nervous. Okay. That's, again, this is a safe place and everybody's there to just network and see each other.
It is a safe place, so no anxiety allowed, guys. All right, just relax and come and have a good time and talk to people, get freebies, and it's really a good event. But you'll get out of it what you put into it. So definitely just come with that open mind.
Exactly. And very important, make eye contact. I see sometimes the job seeker comes to the table like this, giving the resume, like, make eye contact. We're here to see you. We want to smile to each other. We've been missing each other's company. So just, make sure that you have that personal contact with people. I don't even know that we mentioned it in the last presentation before COVID, but I feel like the last couple of years had us all a little bit scarred, behind the masks. And if you wear a mask, by the way, feel free to wear a mask and be comfortable. It's whatever makes you comfortable. But the eye contact, we all realize that eyes are, well, there's no eye mask. So make sure to utilize your eyes because even your smile could be seen if you feel like wearing a mask. So eyes are your biggest asset. Okay. Now, there's some pretty cool giveaways out there, but just collecting them is just not the same. But if you feel like you need refreshing, some people actually bring food and beverages. So, it is pretty fun. By the way, if you have special diet or if you feel like you might need to get snacks, make sure you have them in the car, because as much as vendors bring them, not for a fact will there be a venue nearby with food that you need.
That's true.
All right, Kim.
So you're at the job fair and you're meeting the recruiter, and what do you do? So Anna went through, a lot of the body language, right? But what do you do? How do you have the conversation? The first thing is always be energetic, enthusiastic, show initiative, but very importantly, positive. Stay positive about the conversations that you're having. Yes, if you're not working, it is discouraging, but you want to focus on what is positive. So, be enthusiastic, be energetic, and tell the company about the positives of what you've done. Ask the company about them before talking about yourself as well, is another important thing. And if they ask you, what have you done in the past, you want to be specific with your examples. So it's different. There's a difference in saying, I've done collections in the past versus saying I've done collections and with my team, I was able to, collect $1 million in a matter of 30 days, which was past due for 2 years. So numbers talk, and it's very important that when they ask you specific questions, what are some of your accomplishments, be specific versus, more general and say, I'm a bookkeeper. No, specifically, I've done this as a bookkeeper, and it'll make a longer impression. And you hear it. I hear it on the phone when I talk to companies and hiring managers, and I say, they're a bookkeeper versus when I say they're a bookkeeper and they were able to collect $500,000 in 2 weeks, and they're like, wow. So you really want to add the numbers there to, set yourself apart from other people applying for the same role. And, if it's relevant and you see that you have enough time to bring up experiences that could relate to the positions that they have available or that you're applying for. And if you have the time to have the short interview with them, make sure to thank them for their time. And, whatever it is, whether it's, the handshake, the wave, the smile, say goodbye, it's all, everybody's different. So
pump the fist, pump the elbows.
Not many people are handshaking anymore. So, but whatever you feel comfortable with, just to say goodbye and make it memorable for both.
Kim, we have a question. When you've done administrative or secretarial all your life, how can you be specific with those numbers? Like, that's all you did. So
well,
what do you say?
I would say front desk and, reception type of work is a big impact on the company. It's the first person you see when you walk through the door. So making it about, how you made that front office experience for the person, how you held the office together. And you are the support team. It's not just a receptionist, you are the receptionist. So, you know, what makes you stand out? What made the company better by having you at the front desk? So really focusing, like I said before, on the positive.
And how many people did you greet every day? Greeted 25 patients daily, right?
How
And-
many phone calls did you
And
answer and
exactly,
direct?
there's a way to quantify it, the impact, right? It's a
Yes.
difference, you know, or maybe you were an administrative support person for the one CEO. I supported one CEO who was making $1 bajillion, you know, in everything that he did. I was an executive assistant for the Fortune 500 company CEO. There's always ways to quantify things and your impact through those things.
Right.
So even if you are an HR professional, maybe you did onboarding. And if you did, how many people did you onboard? How often did you onboard them? For how many different departments? Up to, I want the biggest number in a year as opposed to in a day. Maybe it was multicultural people, or were they all, you know, one race and 12 years old? Were they, you know, we're talking a range, multi-generational. You can use words that are factual adjectives, and it tells a lot about what your capabilities are as opposed to did onboarding.
Right.
Any initiatives you introduced to the company? Introduced the diversity, equity, and inclusion program and implemented it. Received the Rookie of the Year award 5 times in a row as I was being promoted. I mean, everybody
so
has an
many ways.
accomplishment. Think
Yeah.
of something you're proud of, that's your accomplishment, and then try to quantify it if you can.
Right.
And by the way, back to what Kim said about being energetic, enthusiastic. So while Kim is placing people, I'm typically seeing different companies face to face, just like we're seeing the candidates in our office. And I have had just about every company tell me, after they will go over skills and experience, they will say, and you know, we need a person who's a team player, who's happy, who's positive, who's no drama. Just 99% of the time they will mention that. 0 times out of, I don't know, 2000, I heard, I want somebody who is low energy, not enthusiastic, and doesn't want to be a team player and just wants to do 9 to 5 and go home. Not to say that we'll have them not work 9 to 5, but nobody wants people who are disengaged. So off the bat, show them you're engaged and you're excited. All right. Phew. Okay, we're almost done. It's over. You prepared. You were great. You had the elevator speech. All right. No, what now? Like the after party happens now. Really, the goal is to, yes, find a job or a career, or just to get some guidance. So find out how the vendor follows up. I think Kim already mentioned it. Right. And to Christine's point, if they tell you, well, after this, you can just apply online. Let Christine know. Obviously, some companies will still say, hey, I have your resume, but I just do still need you to go through the process of applying online. But I have your information. I'm just waiting for that application because it has to upload in my system. That's different than saying it's like, okay, bye, you know, so you will know.
Yes. Yes.
So find out how they want. Do they want to follow up by email? Do they want you to call? Do you want you to call them? Do you want them to walk in? That happens too, by us, for example. Get employees recruiters information before you leave the table. You will forget. I guarantee you will forget. If you left the table, didn't take their information, you will forget. There's too much happening at the same time. Make sure they have yours again. Like I said, sign in and give them your resume. Like they can't escape your information. Now, if appropriate, follow up within 3 days. There's nothing more discouraging for the employer than the interested candidate that kind of, you know, goes. Yeah.
Yes. May I say one thing about that, Anna? Several times there have been job fairs, whether it's my job fair here or the County of Monmouth or a different job fair. And nobody that attended, they all handed in their resume. They had the conversation, but they didn't follow up. They didn't send a thank you for talking with me at the job fair. And that had a huge impact on whether they were called or not. If 3 people out of 15,000, which really did happen, 15,000 people gave a resume and 3 people actually gave a thank you, who was called? The 3. Whether they qualified or not, the 3 people that showed consideration and respect for sending a thank you were called, as opposed to the other people that handed them a resume. So that could be a make or break for you. And this is a really important step in addition to all the other things. If you're going to come to the job fair, then do it all the way. It'll be worth your time.
And you know, again, it would have been a different conversation, but I have to mention that. Developing gestures of gratitude is not just for your ulterior motives, which of course we all have, right? It's not just for the ulterior motives, like, oh yeah, they'll remember. They'll remember, you're gonna make them feel good. But sending these good vibes into the air and making yourself that grateful person that's grateful to others for the things they do or don't do for them, it's just gonna make you feel better. It's for you too. It's not just for getting something. You send these good vibes into the world, good things are bound to be happening. I know it sounds like it's like we're talking business over here, but I've seen it over and over and over again. People that are spreading positivity around them, it comes back. Maybe not back, but it will come and go. Exactly.
Karma, man.
However you call it, it will come back to you in a positive way, for sure.
Mhm.
Oh, look at that. There you go. Exude gratitude no matter the outcome, okay? Because yeah, sometimes they won't hire you because something, maybe they fill the position with somebody. Just say, you know what, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I appreciate that we met. I hope you're very successful and really just, yeah, not sarcastic, really be grateful, move on. Something else is waiting.
Not only that, Anna, I've seen so many people that are hiring managers leave their jobs and go to different companies. I've seen so many recruiters leave their recruiting job and go to other jobs as recruiters or sourcers or whatever. And if you have laid the groundwork for some kind of relationship, that is going to play a positive note for you. And it's only going to benefit you tremendously. So just like Anna said, show gratitude, because whether it's a positive or a negative outcome, it could be a positive down the road.
Right.
It's possible, without being naggy, to follow up in another couple of weeks if you haven't heard from people. I would say that these days the companies will reply to you faster than that, because companies are interested in hiring. Again, remember, they made themselves go for half a day and took out their entire busy day for that. They're interested in hiring people. So typically they would want to hire, and they're going to be moving faster than that. But yes, do another follow-ups in a couple of weeks. Just check in. Hopefully they will answer. You know, it is a two-way street. We shouldn't, you know, there has been a complaint about employers in the past, you know, that they would just go silent and not even respond. Most employers have been already conditioned that even if they're rejecting candidates, they should be replying to you. And if they don't, yeah, you're going to have to move on. Just remember that. That's all, you know. There are others out there who will reply to you. Again, every time you reach out is positive and gratitude. That's your mojo over there. All right, so let's summarize it, Kim, and then I'll answer your questions. Any questions we didn't answer yet?
So you want to take advantage of all aspects of the job fair. You might not necessarily walk out of there with an interview or a job, you know, like they mentioned before, either right away or maybe down the line, you know, in a year from now, they call you and it's a better opportunity than what you're in. So you want to take advantage of all aspects of it, with whether it be the workshops, the networking, the exposure, and practice. You get to practice your elevator pitch. You get to practice talking about what you've done, and just talk to different people. You might be thinking you're going in there, you want to work as a receptionist, and next thing you know, you're taking a workshop to become, you know, a QuickBooks bookkeeper professional, and you're able to advance your career and go on to something else. So the job fair didn't necessarily, you know, find you a job right away, but it opened the door for you to learn something new, and then in the future land a better opportunity. So keeping a positive attitude, a grateful mind, and also just taking advantage of all of the opportunities that are given to you at the job fair. And make a great first impression. You never know, like we've said so many times during the presentation, you never know, you know, who you meet, who you'll talk to, and where it could lead down the line. Stay positive always and have a positive mindset. It's all about how you think and how you express yourself. So keeping positive, it's not always easy, but it's definitely possible. And you see it in the future, in the outcome, you see it in your conversations. It just feels and flows much better.
And again, before we turn it over to questions, I just want to point out that if you missed the job fair, you could still reach out to the companies. If you want to find a job before the job fair, there's all these wonderful recruiting companies out there, which of course we wouldn't advertise now, but we, for example, do hire every day. We have interviews every day. Today, in fact, we have a walk-in Wednesday, which means people just walk in and ask about the jobs without pre-scheduled interviews. So you could use things like that. You could just Google all these different events and practice that before the huge job fair. And who knows, maybe you'll find a job even before that. So there's an opportunity out there every day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Please know, some people have asked me about finding out about different job fairs in different counties. I work for Monmouth County Workforce Development. I do not work for the New Jersey State Department of Labor. So this job fair is Monmouth County Workforce Development Job Fair. It is not New Jersey State Job Fair. Although we do share some information, we don't share a lot of information. So I really do not have knowledge of any job fairs outside of Monmouth County that you might attend. You would have to go to that New Jersey website, DOL. And I don't have that either because I'm not a state employee. So you would have to Google it the same as me. And so a little bit of research is going to help you go far, but I don't have that information. It's not that I don't want to share with you. It's just that I don't know what that information is. So just wanted to make sure that you understood that, you know, where my position is and what we're all about moving forward. Thank you.
I'm not even sure why the question would even be, because if you live locally, there's just zero reason to go to the New Jersey State Job Fair. You have to just come to the local job fairs, local companies are presenting, commute doesn't have to be, even, you know, 10 years ago, we heard a lot saying, oh yeah, but the better paying jobs are in, you know, in the northern Jersey or in Manhattan. Not anymore. There are amazing opportunities on every level, from unskilled labor to CEOs that are paying top dollar in this area, and you won't even have a crazy commute. So I don't see why you would go anywhere else. Stay here. Stay local.
Do we have any other questions? I think most of the stuff we've answered in the chat box. Not really sure. I know that you, I appreciate you attending today and giving us your attention and all the good stuff that goes along with learning how a current job fair works, operates, and how you can get the most out of it. And I appreciate that. Again, this will be posted on the YouTube channel later on, well, hopefully today, and you will see it again from that point of view, and you can re-watch it if you did not get a chance to take any notes today, or maybe you want to share with somebody, and that would be okay as well. So it'll be on the YouTube channel. Can I give an example of networking? Anna, do you have an example of networking?
Well, you know how we said, really you should be even asking companies questions before they ask you any questions? Well, not before, but you will say, hey, I'm Anna Santucci and I am a front office coordinator with 20 years of experience. And what does your company do? What do you like the best about the company? So that's how you network. Networking means it's not just there asking you questions. You're chatting. It's freestyle. You're not
Networking
thinking
is just
about it.
building a relationship
Exactly.
and making a friend with a recruiter or a hiring manager, whoever's at the table, kind of talking about the company and what they do, and so that they can ask you what you do. And maybe it's a good fit, or maybe they already had a conversation with somebody else, another vendor. Oh, you should go talk to blah, 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 because I heard that they're hiring for this position. And until you talk to them, you would not even know that that might be an avenue for you to explore. So you're always building those relationships. That's what networking is. It's a scary word, but it actually means just making friends.
And remember,
The list
everybody's
of
for the same
companies
reason.
again will be posted through a link on workinmonmouth.com, www.workinmonmouth.com. I put it in the chat box 3 times, but I wanted to tell you it will be available on Friday. The list of initial companies went out this morning. Well, we might have some people that drop off and are added on. So I want you to have the most current list, and that will be posted on Friday. www.workinmonmouth.com. Okay.
Yes, work in Monmouth.
Okay. Very enlightening, refreshing. I wasn't going to come today, but I'm glad that I did. So new tips. Awesome. So just so you know. And you do not need to register in advance. So we are open Wednesday, the 21st at Brookdale Community College in Lancroft. It's a space big enough for all of our vendors, employers. And so there's signs all over the road, and there's flyers that have been going out through email to mark it on your calendar. If you're not on our email, definitely reach out to me and I can add you. So,
By the way, one more reason to come early-ish is if you don't come early-ish, you're going to be parked away, so far away that you're going to really have good use of those very comfortable shoes you're going to be wearing.
exactly.
It's a big parking lot, so yeah.
Good point. Good point. Absolutely. So, all right. Well, very good. Well, thank you all for coming, and I will see you next time. We're going to talk about time management with Terry Seaman, and it's October 4th is our next workshops. So hopefully you can attend and learn a little bit about how to manage all those things that are going on in your world and your time. So, all right. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great one.
Have a great
Bye.
day.
Bye-bye.
See you at the job fair.